Good afternoon, everybody. Good morning. I am Michael Joseph. I work here in Brunel University. I lead the RIEm program, and I also work here as a business development manager in the research and innovation department of the university. So it's West London here. We all feel like it's going to be warm, but still a bit grey on this proper winter afternoon here in West London. So this session, thank you to everybody for joining this session. The focus of this session is to discuss in detail about the Research, Innovate and Emerge program, how it's helping businesses to access collaborative research and innovation funding, which as an outcome leading to strategic R&D partnerships with the Brunel University and also other research institutions and also with businesses. So to help us to navigate this 1 hour, we have planned the following agenda. So yes, as I've just introduced myself. So a warm welcome to everybody joining from different parts of the UK and also from overseas. And then we'll have some updates and also the different support mechanisms that Brunel University is offering to small and medium enterprises to advance innovation, led by Professor Jeff Rogers. And then I will go in detail about the RIEm program, its offers, and then we have Richard Wrigley, Associate Director of Beta Technology, who is also an expert consultant for the RIEm program, will be sharing his observations on supporting RIEm participants since 2022. So we have worked with around 75 businesses so far. And then we have Dr. Andrew Tucker, who is joining, who's a founder and CEO of Metal Capital, who has been part of the RIEm program and has some fantastic experience to share with us. So that is the in nutshell our program. Then we have some discussions and then next steps and conclusion. So thank you everybody. So with that introduction, may I request Jeff to lead the discussion to highlight Brunel's support to SMEs to advance research and innovation. So briefly introducing Professor Jeff Rogers, who is the Pro-Vice Chancellor for Enterprise and Employment for Brunel University of London. And he has been leading some of the large corporate engagement here with Brunel, including organizations like Heathrow Airport, where Brunel is the innovation partner for the Heathrow Airport, and also leading the strategy and management process for a university to manage its enterprise and employment partnerships and relations. Jeff, over to you.
Thanks, Michael. So, I mean, Brunel is quite an unusual institution. I mean, we were established by Wilson in the 60s, really to drive forward, drive forward growth and increase the number of jobs in the economy. And so we developed the work placement program in the 60s, and still a very large number of our students now do a placement as part of their program. We were also very much encouraged at the start to work with industry to allow them to inform our research programs, and we are still one of the largest organisations in the country to be doing that. So we hold the 13th largest income from Innovate UK and the 33rd largest portfolio from the EPSRC, largely based on the work that we do with industry, as well as having the 36th largest EU portfolio. And so we're very much at the forefront of what we see as driving growth and economic activity in West London and nationally, being very engaged both with the needs of industry, both in terms of providing students into a skilled and workforce, but also in innovating to help new businesses develop new products and processes. So we also recently have run two quite prestigious innovative manufacturing research centres for the government. And in most years, we book in £25–26 million worth of research grant income, most of which is directed to working with businesses to help them to take their work forward. So helping to develop novel product that businesses can grow, help businesses to grow. Thanks, Michael. Do you want to have a look at the next slide? And so you can see in our mission, in fact, back in 1966, somebody wrote in our charter that our students would know the relevance of that learning to the affairs of our realm. So the idea that students would know what their learning was about and how it could be applied was quite novel in 1966. And that was very much part of the thinking behind the creation of the university, was that we would be delivering new types of education and new types of research. As I say, education whose application was also understood by the students, and research that was informed by the needs of industry. And so we have a whole range of activities which are designed to support businesses in one way or another. So we do a lot of collaborative R&D. We do student placements, internships and work experience, contract research, CPD and short courses. We help our students to commercialize their IP, but we also support businesses in helping how to exploit their IP. We offer apprenticeships across a range of sectors. We have a thing called innovation vouchers, which allow small businesses to have some support from the university to innovate with a product or process, and that's quite relevant to the businesses that are here today, because it's a kind of a starter way into working with the university. It's quite a small piece of work, but it allows you to get to know an academic, takes a project forward, and to develop your product for the market. We also do student projects, which can also be used by some businesses who use those to innovate with their product, particularly if it's a product that's likely to be aimed at a young age group or requires a lot of digital or social media savvy. We have businesses involved in advisory board, in curriculum development and guest lectures, trying to ensure that what we're doing is relevant to the needs of employers and industry. And we have honorary posts and staff exchanges, which achieve similar sorts of objectives. So quite a wide range, and this is just examples. There are a whole range of other mechanisms we use to engage with businesses, and there are many different ways in which we can work with business. So we have major strategic partnerships with Constellium, who are the largest aluminium manufacturer in Europe, and they have, at any one time, around 100 of their staff on our site, on our campus in Uxbridge, working on different technologies. And they are working alongside Jaguar Land Rover, who are one of their major customers. And Jaguar Land Rover also work with us on a number of projects. And we have a major strategic partnership with TWI, where we have a large number of staff based in their business at Cambridge, working on problems that are defined by TWI's industrial members, who mainly come from the oil and gas and large transport infrastructure sectors. We have developing partnerships with Heathrow, Segro, and Siemens, as well as O2 and Thales. Heathrow and Segro being particularly pertinent to the Hillingdon economy, and Heathrow being out, very close to us, and Segro being the owners of the Slough Trading Estate. They're obviously big and important stakeholders in the local economy. The sectors in which we're most active are automotive, construction, manufacturing, and oil and gas. These are areas where our staff are working with businesses around the country, help them to solve problems and meet challenges, and often in some cases either improve productivity or move to net zero. And then in terms of technologies, we have, just picked out 5, which I think are probably our 5 major areas. We do a lot of materials and metals processing, particularly light metals, but also polymer processing are big areas of activity. We have a lot of waste valorization and circular economy projects, polymers again, but also water and heat, other types of so-called waste. We have a substantial capabilities in sensors and AI and modeling. A lot of green technology work across a range of both energy systems, but also into processing systems and green factories and water systems as well. And then we probably one of the other largest single group spans all aspects of heat, energy and power, everything from novel things such as hydrogen, solar panels, and other types of different types of heat capture, refrigeration, and then into power systems as well. So including the algorithms to run the smart grids. And so pretty much every area of the technologies that support energy generation in sort of a economy that's moving towards net zero. Right. Go on, Michael. You want to just flip on to the next one? Is there another one? So examples of our work. There it is. So Tatiana Gard worked with TWI actually to develop high temperature transducers, and we installed them. Well, EDF installed them in Heysham 1 and the Hartlepool nuclear power stations, and this technology meant that EDF were hanging about. They didn't want to turn the power stations back on again because they were concerned that cracks were developing in the side of the nuclear chamber. And so we put some detectors on. It basically means the detectors make a phone call when they think that something in the chamber is starting to crack, and EDF therefore get advanced knowledge of any problems associated with the structural integrity of the nuclear chamber. And we, for the first time, produced a transducer that could withstand the high temperatures that you get inside those chambers. And Carnick, this is, I think, slightly more mundane, has been developing new polymer products for water meters for about 20 or 30 years. And it basically means that you can replace the parts of replace metal parts on water meters with polymer replacements. They last longer. They don't corrode as quickly, particularly in high temperature areas. In warm parts of the world, and people don't break into the water meters to steal the metal components either, and so the water meters last a lot longer. And so this was quite interesting, but not wholly surprising. But the thing I found most remarkable was that 4 million water meters have been made with Carnick's parts in, which is quite a thing. And if you do any sort of basic economic analysis of just lengthening the life of these water meters by sort of 10 or 15%, then the paybacks are colossal. And actually, the Honeywell wrote us a letter saying that the reason they kept the manufacturing plant in the UK is because they wanted it to be close to Carnick, because he was helping them to move their products forward, which I thought was quite impressive. So I thought it's sort of things. I think a fairly simple thing, but actually also quite important at some level. So this is slightly more innovative. Mizzy has worked with a firm called EcoDeck, and what they were doing when he first met them, they were buying recycled decking from Germany and importing it to the UK. So essentially, they were an import company, and he helped them build a machine to take waste wood and post-consumer plastic to make decking. So they started manufacturing decking, and in fact, they now employ about 50 staff. They're in somewhere around Stoke. I can't remember the exact location of the business, but and they take about 100 million 4-pint milk bottles a year, combine it with a large amount of sustainably sourced waste wood, and sell it for decking. And it's high-end decking. So if you wander around London and look at the roof terraces, that's EcoDeck's decking. And actually, their decking, if you've been on the Jamiroquai walk through Dubai, that's their decking as well. It's very, very long living. It can stand a lot of walking, and it can stand a lot of high temperatures and rain, and so it's very, very resistant. But it's a proper green business, and Mizzy essentially allow them to turn what was basically an import business into a manufacturing business over a period of a number of years. They had 4 quite large EU grants, and at each stage he built them, helped them to build more machines, and now they've got 6 of these machines that make this decking, and so they're able to sell it around Europe and all over the world. Do you want me to stop now, Michael? Right. this is maybe the last one. And this is our aluminium casting area. And here we've been developing fully recyclable aluminium alloys. So we have devised a way of making aluminium parts from post-consumer aluminium. So and so instead of having to go to the mine, we can recycle aluminium and make parts with it, and we can cast it thinner than you could do before, and make it and make it more rigid. And so as a result of that, you can take post-consumer aluminium and make parts for cars which are more robust than you would do if you just took pure aluminium from the mine. And therefore that reduces the cost of doing more mining, but also reduces the weight of aluminium on cars, saving carbon at two stages of a circular economy. So when we did the calculation when we last did the calculation of what the savings had been, and now it must be about 5 times that, we identified about £103 million worth of saving to consumers in reduced petrol costs, but also quite a considerable loss of CO2 associated with the mining saving. And so this is a way of starting to build a circular economy of aluminium so that you don't continue to have to get bauxite out of the ground, which is an exceptionally energy inefficient process, but instead you start to. Right, I thought that was the last one, but this is is this the last one, Michael?
I'll check. Yes, something like that.
I do have to stop somewhere. If there are another 5, I can stop now.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So this is an AI example, building a system to help Caterpillar to re-optimize their supply chain. And actually, Tatiana did this with student projects in Caterpillar. Caterpillar never really paid us for this work, but actually they wrote us a letter saying that it had materially changed their share price. And they estimated the financial value at about £800 million. And that was largely because she built them a system that kept track of about 700,000 products at any one time and re-optimized their supply chain distribution system decisions about every 15 minutes across the whole system. And she did this by building AI systems that first of all took their data and made their data more reliable and better, filled in gaps in their data. And then when she'd done that, she took the improved data and she trained a neural network to optimize the whole system in a way which is better than what they were doing before. And the savings largely come from the way in which they were booking ships and trains to move their products about. And she was able to identify ways of doing the bookings so that the products spent less time on the train or the ship and got to their destinations quicker, and therefore they weren't paying increased depreciation associated with some of the very large products that they were moving about. So obviously towards the end there are obviously some very, very big examples of things we do, but within the innovation voucher mechanism, we have a very quite that can be as little as 2 days work of an academic's time helping a business to innovate or change something in their business. So we can do things on almost any scale and towards multiple, very many different purposes as well. And so RIEm is a way of helping businesses to identify what their challenges are, to start looking for solutions and start looking for ways to fund those solutions to meet those challenges. I shall stop there. Is that okay?
Thank you very much, Jeff. That's very, very insightful. Yes, support Brunel has offered and Brunel continues to offer there. So thank you. Jeff, you are with us till the end.
Yes, I am. Yes.
So could we collect the questions?
I should be around at the end for questions. Yeah. I'm just going to turn my camera off for a few minutes, but I should be around.
All right. Thank you very much, Jeff. So yes, please keep your questions to Jeff later part of the session. Thank you very much, Jeff. So with that, so I am actually the second part of the agenda. What we were discussing earlier is more to know about what the program is offerings. So but I do have a video, so I hope the technology would work this time. So in terms of, as you say, so this is a program helping businesses to access collaborative research and innovation funding. And in the process, Brunel becomes a strategic research and development partner for these businesses. So some of them working with us since 2022, or even more before that, still continues to work with Brunel. So again, I mean, what is my credential to run something like this in the universities? I used to work over 15 years in private sector. I was head of business development for a consultancy firm or strategic consulting in health. So I did PhD in public health, and I was in private sector. I was fortunate to work in around 30 countries from Afghanistan to Zambia. Lots of government tenders, public procurement, UN systems, World Bank, British and US governments. So those types of arrangements. And then coming in the university, I am in the research innovation department of the university. One of my main jobs is to facilitate, manage research innovation partnerships in healthcare and medical technology. But then the RIEm program is across all the sectors. Because like me, there are other 4 business development managers in the university working on manufacturing, on digital economy, on creative arts, communities, so we do work with different sectors, different businesses, and Brunel has expertise in all these areas. So our main focus is to help these businesses to work with our R&D experts and then access funding for it. So like you see in this picture, this is the picture of the last cohort of the RIEm businesses who worked with us in the last year, or just completing this year. So I would ask you, how many of you in the group looking for innovation funding? And you can just raise your hand or just put yes, I can see that. Yes, I see. Yes, I mean, like you, lots of these businesses were also looking for innovation funding, and we have some good stories to share where they started and where they are now from our previous cohorts. So yes, so as the program, the RIEm programs, its objective is, first of all, as I said, helping businesses to access innovation funding, and then helping businesses to understand the research innovation expertise offered by Brunel or other universities, because we try to give different examples. And then at the end, we want businesses like you to develop funding applications and to integrate it with some sort of R&D mentoring, we would say. And then at the end, we want these solutions to take to the market. Because I know sometimes when we do, Richard and I, we have different experiences. Thank you, everybody, for raising your hands. Now you can lower your hand. I think that's a legacy hand, I see. But we'll give you chances for questions later at the end of my presentation. So when you come with some ideas, it's not just a research alone. We would like these innovative solutions to take to the market. And that's where funders are going to fund you as well when you say Innovate UK. Innovate UK is the main funder we target in the process. So again, that picture you saw there was some of our participants of the previous edition. Let me see how the video is going to work. Welcome to Brunel University's new program to help businesses.
Research, Innovate, Emerge, RIEm is a program started by Brunel University to help businesses to strengthen their abilities for collaborative research and innovation with universities.
We're going to be helping those businesses understand how such a strategy can help them drive growth in their business, help them to develop new products and processes. Long term, we're going to be working with these businesses to help them meet bigger challenges such as net zero, AI and digitisation.
I'd recommend the programme because it's important as individual businesses to be able to learn from each other, understanding what works, what doesn't work, particularly as we're all coming from quite a variety of different backgrounds, different sectors.
Yeah, I would definitely recommend this to other businesses and people such as myself in similar positions with their companies. The information you can get from Brunel about what they can offer and networking with other people outside of your usual circles is extremely valuable, and I don't feel it happens in many other kind of respects.
Businesses benefit by strengthening their abilities for collaborative research and innovation, or to generate data for a new solution they are taking to the market, and also get public funding from UK research innovation ecosystem or other wider actors?
Well, what I learned today was how exciting it is to meet people from different backgrounds, commercial, non-profit, all with really great ideas and doing really good things, and the opportunity to share them together with the support of Brunel University.
To know more about how your organization may benefit from RIEm, or if you like to collaborate with Brunel University to run an edition of this trademark protected program, please note our contact details.
Can discuss that. That is the whole point of this discussion. So can you see my slide about RIEm partnership now?
We can.
Okay, thank you. So it's there. So as you see, the program has got three main pillars. One, support to research, and also access to some of the research experts and facilities we have, and then helping the businesses to develop their specific innovation plan and reviewing it and providing some mentoring support, how that could be tailored to a funder targeting a funding application. And then we would also, at the end of it, we would like these companies, businesses to develop the solution to the market. That's where the merge element comes there. So what do we offer as part of the program? As we said, so it's our offering is valued at around £10,000. I mean, we are funded by government to do this program, again, to run the cost of logistics and things. It's not core people's time or anything like that. It's not covered out of this program. But we offer assessment to understand where the businesses are when you join the program in terms of your innovation, your needs, then introduction to experts, then some workshops and mentoring. It's all very practical stuff. And then we also bring in some funders here. We try public and private. We make some introductions, and then we also promote some funding opportunities we see may be relevant for businesses attending the program. So it is done in 4 phases. So the phase 1 needs assessment, onboarding. I think some of the Route 2025 applicants, we are already started the onboarding process because we have already got 16 applicants confirmed. We only have a few more seats remaining for 2025 edition. So, and then from there, we at the very first workshop, we tried to showcase how do we advance innovation, what are the concepts related to that, and then technology readiness level advancement. We also discuss some of those things with practical examples. We have experts coming and sharing from an industry point of view, how do they do these things. And then we give you a small homework at the end of phase 1 when you come for the workshop to do a concept note around your business's innovation or innovative idea. And then within 4 weeks, Richard, the expert consultant, and me, we review and give you some feedback. So in phase 2, when you come, we focus more in terms of some of the research innovation strategy development processes, the open innovation concept. And then we also then implant the questions around, what is your innovation? What is your impact? Like Innovate UK type of questions. And then we give you very practical case studies to look into different sectors. If you are from digital sector, if you are from health sector or from manufacturing. So you get different case studies. These are real examples of people worked on, but we want you to think through. And how would you address some of those situations, context, in particular to your environment? And then when we finish the phase 2 workshop, we actually also, all these workshops will bring in Brunel academics to network with you. So that you may also be assigned with an academic mentor in this edition of the program. And then when you go home, we give you 3-4 questions around Innovate UK's core questions, and we want you to think through and give the responses in 4 weeks' time. And Richard and I and other business development managers, we go through and give some review feedback. So, so it's quite intense in that sense. And then when you come for phase 3, so we actually sharpen that approach of proposal development with further things around developing proposals, funding applications, project management, the value for money, things like that, because these are things public funders and private funders look for. And then when you then that phase 3 of the program, we also bring in some investors. Both Innovate UK public investors come here, and then some VCs come here. So we select the 3 best concept notes from the cohort, And we asked the company lead, for example, say if Richard or Andrew, who's going to speak with you, if his company is selected to pitch to, or like a dragon's den, pitch to the investor panel, and if I am not successful in, say, in the digital sector, I would be asked to work with Andrew, like 4 or 5 people working with Andrew, and then making this presentation to the investors. So like the best 3, because Richard and I make the decision that this depends on the maturity of your idea, the commitment you have demonstrated so far in the process, so, and you really get a chance to present this. And then we give you at the end of this, we give a full proposal of Innovate UK, the format, because we have only done half of the work by this time, you see, within these 3 months. And then our aim is, at least when the next call comes, you submit the proposal. Also, I know when we started 2023, we had 3 of the businesses or 4 of the businesses already secured funding by April. And that was I would say, was one of the very impressive cohorts. Anyway, I am actually, I'm not going to show this video because it basically testimonials of the participants. You are hearing from Andrew, his experience in this case. And then the qualification. I know some of you who interacted with us, we had to say no, because if you don't meet this criteria, sadly, we have to say no. Because we say, a turnover or investment of £100,000. And we are not talking here you are making profit, but at least there's some evidence as part of your accounting systems or a company house filing that you have spent at least minimum of this much amount, and you have a product or a service or a technology ready for development, described in 100 words as your innovation challenge. This is where Brunel would say, okay, this is an area where we can support you. Then that should be at the TRL level at the 3. And then we also say minimum, we would say 2 to 5 staff on payroll. We do ask for that information. Why? Because this is the same questions Innovate UK also ask when they look into some of the due diligence before awarding you the funds. And of course, commitment to attend the sessions. Even if you have a little bit of experience in getting funding, we still encourage you to join because you can look for bigger funding. So if that's the case, what has been the outcome of all this support? What we have been doing. So as you see here, we are lucky. We worked with these businesses to help them to submit proposals up to, I would say, 15 million now in total. I mean, it has gone up. So we help businesses to raise £3.5 million. I mean, we haven't charged them a penny for that. You know how it works in the private sector. And Brunel also got some funding out of, in the sense, Innovate UK funds R&D partner, university partner, to do the business's work. So when we apply for Innovate UK funding, we become your strategic R&D partner to address your innovation challenge. So Innovate UK pays us to do your work. So that is how we have to raise some money to do your work. But of course, if some of the businesses employ our graduates, these are some of the impact we have. We get a lot of joint publications, things like that. So if you see the next slide, we did an independent evaluation, and we can say with some modesty that the evaluation report shows those businesses that worked with us. I mean, they were very responsive. They did respond to our questions. And those businesses they worked with us, they were saying actually, all the blue or the orange or on the graph, very easy process, easy to engage with the university. I mean, there were one observation here around identifying the relevant funding opportunities. I know we can learn, of course. We also know we can't post all the opportunities. So again, very, very positive. And then finally, I would say, with modesty, we can say those who have attended the RIEm program and if they apply for Innovate UK funding, they have a success rate of 68%. So unlike the average success rate, which is only I would say, 5 to 10%. So and for every £1 Brunel has spent, businesses have got £23 back. So again, that is that impact for us. As a university, we need to show what is impact we are bringing in. Of course, I said about other things, graduate placements, consultancies, and things like that. So that one picture there is again, it's a networking picture with our academic experts, our staff, and businesses when they come here. So some things to now sell here to you. So we got West London Business Awards as a runner-up last year or this year, and we are shortlisted in the same category for next year. Who knows what's going to happen? So and also we are a national impact case study. This is a report National Center for University and Business publishes every year, and this year this is going to be launched on 5th of December, and we have a chapter there about RIEm program. And why we have a chapter there? Because of the support it gives to businesses like you here, Victor Habari, who attended the program. He raised almost $500,000, and it is Innovate UK with the SFC Capital, the co-investor partner. Actually, we brought here SFC Capital partners. I actually literally introduced Victor to SFC Capital. It took almost 1.5 years, but here you go. A couple of weeks back, Victor got this £475,000, and he has given a very generous statement about RIEm program, how it has helped him. So another company here, Sticks Mindfulness, they got some funding through the Hillingdon Enterprise Partnership, then further Innovate UK funds. So they raised now £630,000. So they also worked with our psychologists to validate their technology, to do a user experience analysis in the school, basically helping children to improve their mental health through mindfulness. So again, so that is the reason why we have been also being recognized at different levels. We have lots of our businesses got different awards. Here, Earth Short Prize winner of 2022, Not means not plastic. All these packaging materials are made from seaweeds. They worked with us, and they still continue to do some work with us to do R&D. So again, there are positive stories, but I would say, look, we have challenges. I can't say we can address all the needs of the businesses. We don't have the capacity sometimes. And also sometimes businesses think they can address everything. I would say, Richard knows that more than me. It's not easy to balance that. So I would say, finally, it's your chance. We have, as I said, few more seats are open. It's a very simple application form, as you see. So 100 words about your innovation challenge. The rest, have you got X number of turnover or staff or things like that. And the application deadline 15th of December, and the workshop dates for next year is already announced, so you can plan your calendar. So again, I would say, so this is the offer. And because the seats are limited, my request would be, if you think this is relevant for you and if you meet the criteria, my request would be to complete the application without the delay. So with that, I would conclude here. I will take some questions later after the presentation from Richard and Andrew. So thank you, everybody. I've taken a couple of extra minutes with all the technical glitches we have had. So now may I request Andrew to highlight. And the next is reflections on supporting RIEm by Richard Wrigley, who is the expert consultant for RIEm and also associate director of beta technology. So when I say associate director, Richard founded the company. And he was, actually, he recently sold his company. I'm giving away some trade secrets, but he still works in the company. So Richard, over to you.
Thank you, Michael. Thanks for the slides. I'll skim through this very quickly. I've been involved supporting Michael and this will be the 4th cohort. All been great individuals and companies that I've met. So if we can go to the next slide, thank you. So the observations really are, the enthusiasm that you as participants in this bring to the whole set of workshops that we have, and we have a great variety, and that variety is useful in sharing different perspectives and different experiences. So part of it will be learning from each other and sitting in groups through the workshops. So I think we've gained a lot of benefit, both from the university side and also for the participants. All of you I should imagine without exception, have a good number of innovative ideas. And the first part really is distilling that into to one or two, really. So if we can move to the next slide, please. It's really kind of tuning these ideas and finding those which have the most opportunity, both for you as a business, but also for funding. And it's important that the funding and the idea align. As Michael said, we use Innovate UK's format, but that's really as a tool because it covers all the main questions that you would find in most types of funding applications. And we just find it as a useful tool to work through. Areas, for example, you need to look at as your competitors and your market opportunity. And we also look at your bidding techniques. As Michael said, we have a kick-off onboarding session. Our first one is this Friday with one of this year's participants, and that's just a quick half an hour, 40 minutes discussion just to understand about you and your business and what you want to get out of the workshops and the time. So we can kind of either tailor it or early introductions to the academics. So if you want to move to the next slide, please. So, and again, next slide, please. That's it. So as I said, it's engaging and sharing your experiences. All questions are very welcome. We try and make them interactive, and that can cause us problems on timing, but we always kind of get back on timing eventually. After each workshop, there's a series of questions that we'll ask you to work through and submit to us, and that we will review, or I'll review with both Michael and the relevant business manager in Brunel. That just helps to again tune and focus, particularly on ideas initially. And you'll find, for example, in applications, there's very few words that you can use. Or you're limited in the word count, and getting that is quite an art. I'm around to support each of you. So do ask questions throughout the whole process, from the beginning from when we have the interviews onboarding this before Christmas through to when it finishes in July. And then thinking about your wider network. It's not just you on your own. Think about the wider network you already work with, because they'll add to your innovation opportunity. So that could be suppliers, customers, like-minded businesses, etc. And final slide, please. And really working with Brunel, you have excellent support there, and the people that the researchers that Brunel are able to bring into, the expertise that they've got. This actually provides an excellent way of giving you an insight into a university. It's very difficult for you to or can be difficult to access universities in this way in this short term. So this is an excellent kind of way that I've seen, and I've worked with and work with quite a number of universities, both in the UK and in Europe. And this is quite an excellent scheme for doing that. And as Michael said, you have the connectivity to outside agencies, Innovate UK, investors, etc. So that's a very brief whistle stop. I very much look forward to seeing you and working with you over the coming weeks and months. I always find each cohort a challenge on the ideas they come up with. So I'm looking forward to the challenges that you come up with. So thank you, Michael.
Thank you very much, Richard. Very insightful. Yeah, and Richard and we share our notes sometimes. There are lots of common observations there. So thank you very much for your continued support, Richard. So the next speaker for us is Dr. Andrew Tucker, who is sharing his experience of getting funding after attending RIEm, and also overall experience of being part of RIEm. Andrew is the founder and Chief Executive Officer of Metal Capital. Andrew, over to you.
Thank you, Michael, and nice to see you again, Richard. I'm an alumni of the second cohort, and I have very fond memories of Richard sending my initial written work back with question marks all over it, which, you know, as somebody who's now gone 50 and used to be an academic, it was the first time somebody's redlined my academic work in quite a long time. So that was a good challenge. um, so Metal Capital, very quickly, we are a 5-year-old fintech. We focus on sustainability data. The interesting thing, I think, for the guys on this call is, look, I would absolutely recommend RIEm, just to be really, really clear. I think it's an excellent program. I think it's a really, really good use of your time. It is a opportunity to tap into public funding that we would not have been able to do otherwise. And I think it's really set us up for real success. So I couldn't recommend it more. Let me just be very practical about this. So as a participant, let me just tell you sort of what's happened in the 18 months since we participated in the second cohort. So right at the end of the cohort, working with Richard, we really boiled down our ability to write funding proposals from what was frankly not great, bluntly, into a much more tightly focused approach, which is exactly what you need to do. And there's no, you know, like I say, these things are hard to do. It is an art form, I would say, in some respects, to write these kind of proposals. So that was a skill set that we didn't have, and we learnt at RIEm. At the end of the RIEm application, we were granted an innovation voucher, which was worth £5,000. What that did is it paid for us to work with an academic at Brunel called Paresh Date, who is the head of the School of Financial Mathematics, and it allowed us to then build out a proof of concept for our data that we then were able to then take to the market and say, look, basically it works. Don't take our word for it. Take Professor Date's. For us, that was brilliant. That was a really useful moment where we said, look, this actually works. As a result of that, we were then able to apply for a Innovation UK grant, which Brunel tipped us off to, wrote us an email. Why don't you apply for this? This is right around what you're interested in, sustainability data, which was very hard, but we were ultimately successful and we won that. That was worth just under £1 million. So that was worth, that was for over 18 months. So not just for us, sadly, but as part of a consortium, we then in effect got a good chunk of public sector funding, in effect, for no equity. Just to be really clear, it is literally just straight cash. Brilliant. So for a startup like us, super useful. We are halfway through that project now. There are some terms and conditions that go with it. So one of them is you get 70 cents in the dollar, in effect. So you have to spend £100 and they will refund you 70. So you still have to pay out the 30 on staff costs, for example. But again, Richard will work through all of this with you. But just to tee that up, as a result of that, and you can see how this sort of cascades on itself. As a result of that, we were able to raise seed funding, which we weren't able to up to that point. So we raised £200,000 in seed funding for a pretty low equity stake, which is brilliant, from a friends and family round. But that was a sort of a proof of concept that we had through the innovation voucher and then through the Innovate UK. That seed funding allowed us to then apply for the EY, so Ernst & Young FinTech Growth Programme, which we are now on, which has then introduced us to a whole load of more funders, potential venture capital funders. So where are we? Tuesday. So Thursday, I've got to go to Excel and do a pitch to 3 big venture capital funds, which I would never have got to had we not been doing the RIEm stuff 18 months ago. And then final piece of the puzzle is we've then gone back to Brunel, and we are about to apply for what's called a KTP, which is a knowledge transfer partnership. Again, working with our Professor Date, and that will be a project for 2 years, and that's worth something like £350,000. So for us, I mean, I don't know about you guys, for us, that's real money. So that's chunks of money we never will be able to get access to had we not been through RIEm, and had we not learned the skill set to then be able to apply for those. So I guess what I'm saying is, think of it as a sort of cascade. It's a sort of you need to get to the first step, to get to the second, get to the third, to get to the second, to get to the third. That's how we've done it. I just don't think there are many people these days that are able to tap straight into, you know, 5, 6, 7 million pounds worth of funding. This is a great way of building up. Does that all make sense? I'm very happy to stay around, and thank you, Michael.
Thank you very much, Andrew. That's very encouraging, and congratulations on the next steps for KTP. Again, yes, some of these things we always say. Whenever now I listen to Andrew, because Andrew has been contributing to similar sessions, I always see something new coming up. So I'm like, what is the next? You know, so it's so encouraging for all of us who are part of the journey. So thank you. So with that, now it is time for some Q&A. So encourage your questions, whether you want to.
Michael, Yvonne had a question.
Yeah. Okay. About, sorry. I can't see. Yvonne already asked the question. Yeah, please, if you want to ask, unmute, or if it's already there on the chat, I'll read that out. I cannot see Yvonne's question. I'm sorry.
Oh, she had.
Yeah, hello. No, I didn't put
hi,
in the
Yvonne.
chat.
Yes, please do. Yeah, please do.
Yeah, hi. I'm Yvonne. I'm the CEO at Lockerize. We're about building a circular economy through procurement and shortening the supply chain. So we use data insights, but then we match schools, universities, and colleges to local or sustainable procurement partners. My question is around application. For the application process, because there was something about 100 words about our innovative solution. So do we submit that to the email, or do we go in and submit the 100-word proposal on the application form?
Thank you, Yvonne. Yeah, I would say on the application form, like you see that the last slide here. The link, if you go to Brunel's website /RIEm, RIEM, it's a very small application form. So may I request you to fill there. But thank you about the updates and your interest. So I think it's also the LinkedIn QR code there. So if we do post some funding opportunities there, feel free to follow us to get further updates as well. Any other questions or observations?
Would it be okay to ask a follow-on?
Please do.
How long does it? Because I think it was Richard that mentioned something about starting on the Friday, this Friday. So how much time do we have? Do we have to submit it today, tomorrow, in order to get onto by Friday? Or I might have had the wrong thing. Forgive me for that.
Richard, you want to respond to that on the onboarding?
Right, Yvonne, yes. It's these onboarding interviews, and I'll have the first one on Friday. They'll go on for the next few weeks. So the first workshop is in February, but prior to that, we have this kind of onboarding activity to learn about each of the businesses. So I think Michael put up on one of his slides he would like the applications in by the 15th of December, I think is what I saw. Correct. So I think you've got to the end of next week, ideally, and then I'll be in contact to arrange a suitable time and date for onboarding. As I said, it's about half an hour, 40 minutes, and it's just to learn more about your business and what you would like to get out of the program.
Yeah. Thank you, Yvonne. And if anybody is on the fence thinking about, I would say, I know some of you already filled the form. There's a couple of you in the group, I know. So thinking about it, I would say, please do submit without further delay. As I said, we only can accommodate another 9 more, or 16 already gone. So you know, and usually I know after Q&A session, people do send, when we also post this on YouTube. So then people send their application after that. So yeah. Thank you. Any other question? Maybe if I putting this Andrew and also maybe Jeff on the intellectual property, you know, just I know sometimes businesses do have questions about who owns intellectual property and how does it work. Maybe Andrew and maybe Jeff also to give the overall Bruno's view on this as well. Maybe Andrew, you want to start with, and then Jeff.
Sure. Yeah, thank you. So it's a really important question, and one that we were very keen to make sure that we completely understood. So the short version is that any intellectual property that you as a business have already produced is yours and will remain with you. Any intellectual property that Brunel helps construct or co-create with you then needs to be shared. But actually, bluntly, Brunel doesn't really want your ideas. So I'm not sure I should say it like that. And Jeff, I apologise.
Well, yeah, I mean,
blunt.
It's simpler to explain that we aren't in the ideas exploitation business. What we're in is the ideas business. So we aren't looking to start new businesses. We're looking to help people start new businesses. And that's a fine distinction. But actually, your success is our success, because if you go off and make a multi-billion-pound business, we tell everybody about it, everybody thinks we're brilliant. We don't have to make any money from it. And as I explained with Caterpillar, you know, we allowed them to make 800 million pounds without taking a penny off them as well. So we're a soft touch, but that's not the business we're in. We're in about helping businesses to be more successful and create jobs, not in creating businesses ourselves.
So
thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Andrew.
So the support that you give in providing, in kind of putting in the application to Innovate UK, for example, how do I put this? How much do we need to do as part of that process? Is that process largely giving you information that enables you to write the application? Is it?
I need to go, but I'll just make a starting response to this. Everybody will have a different answer. There are some very experienced academics who could knock these applications up without too much help at all. Others are less experienced and would need some support from you. And similarly, there are businesses, some of whom can do their own. Others are either newbies or have tried to do it and don't like doing it and want the academics to do it. So there's a full range of responses, but it's kind of done cooperatively. But to start off with, certainly we would expect to give you quite a bit of, if you're a new business and you've not done one before, we would try and pair you up with an academic who was quite experienced, and we would then give you a lot more support in order to make it happen.
Cool.
Is that the right answer? That's about right, isn't it?
That's
about
the
top and bottom of it.
You've got the technology.
Yes, maybe that's one, especially if it has to be led by academic institution. I think because maybe
all the business in Innovate UK's case. I mean, in the case of Innovate, the business has to lead it, but sometimes we do quite a lot of the work. It varies.
Correct. Yeah. Yes, we do lots of heavy lifting, like we say. But in Innovate UK case, I think Richard can confirm. We only get. In most cases, up to 30% of the R&D funding of the total budget, you see. So it has to be led by a business. And but Richard and I, we always say, in some proposals, it's very application focused, where the business is looking into the right expressions. Yes, academics can provide that quality support. But in some cases, the Innovate UK is looking really something to take to the market. You see, so this is where Richard and some of us who are working with you for the RIEm to showcase how do you do that? How do you, so it has to be in that sense led by you from the business point of view. And we would provide that, our R&D experts here, they would provide that niche support. But then if it's too safe, it's too researchy, Innovate UK is not going to fund that. I think, Richard, you may further please do clarify if I have said something not the correct. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you for your time.
No, I think Paul, it's well, one of the aspects is you obviously know your idea and you know your business and hopefully you know your market. So we'll be trying to draw that information out of you. So the questions there are to help you focus on actually what's the innovation, what is the market, etc. And then help you to try and formulate the words. If you then work in partnership, for example, with an academic at the university, as has just been described, then some of them may well have the expertise to write it. They'll be coming at it from a more researchy academic perspective. And as Michael said, Innovate is looking at stuff which will fairly quickly move to market and commercial opportunity. So hopefully that's where you bring. So, and that's part of onboarding. That's part of what we'll try and understand is what's your experience, what do you feel you can bring to it, etc. And I think Andrew was saying it was being able to tune the words and get that right so you can get your message across very succinctly that really captures the imagination of the evaluators.
Yeah, that's correct. I think that's, I suppose the way the answer, that's kind of what I needed to hear. I think that kind of just fits it perfectly. So thank you.
Thanks, Paul.
Thank you, Paul. I know we have taken extra 6 minutes. Any other questions? Any other thoughts? And any last minute departing words, Andrew, for you, because you have dealt with Innovate UK, you have good funding. I see Laura coming there as well. Yeah, anything there, Laura or Andrew? So
for me, I would say, as a startup in the current economy, you have to be really clear that raising money is really hard. So if you, this is a kind of a way of short-circuiting that and getting your initial funding through public grants, which, you know, this is exactly what they're there for. So that's great. And if I was you, I would strongly recommend the RIEm, because I think without doing RIEm, it just makes it so much harder to get to those public grants. So
cool, that's good.
Thank you. Andrew, anything else, colleagues there? Okay, so if not, I'm going to say some good news here. So if you want to see the important book launch where RIEm is featured, that's on 5th of December, the Royal Academy of Arts. So, you know, the National Centre for University and Business. So some of us, like, you know, celebrity authors and people are being featured there. No, just joking there. So that report launch. So you'll get, in case if you are in London, and of course, I think you may have to register for that event. And then, yes, I look forward to hearing from all of you in terms of your interest, or, you know, if you may not be ready but still want to be collaborating with Brunel, let us know. So and again, colleagues here have been working behind the scene. That is Sally Sopin, might have seen some of her emails, and Gautam Lal. They've been doing all the social media marketing and support. So just again, thank you, Sally and Gautam, for your support. And then thanks very much, Richard, Andrew, and Jeff at the meeting for your support, and all of you for your participation until more than 8 minutes now. So thank you very much, everybody, and have a good afternoon for the remaining part of the day.
Thank you.
To know more about how your organization may benefit from RIEm, or if you like to collaborate with Brunel University to run an edition of this trademark protected program, please note our contact details.